Well, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today I'm talking about PikaRom. This is an expanded deck in Pokemon TCG Live. Haven't done expanded a bit, but diving back into it because it's fun. You get to play some of the older cards. You can put together some really strong decks. It's not ranked. It's only in the casual ladder, so you never quite know what you're going to pair in against, which can be a bit frustrating at times. And the format's not the full expanded, but you get to choose from Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet. And I actually kind of like the format. It's a pretty interesting set of cards to choose from, and you can put together some fun decks. Here I'm playing PikaRom, which I actually never played before and expanded. It was back in PTCGO. It was just too expensive for my taste. But now in Live, you can craft a tag team for pretty cheap. So I am playing PikaRom with some Miraidon, some of the newer pieces, and so it's a pretty strong deck, so let's just jump right into it. So it is PikaRom, named after Pikachu and Zekrom-GX, the tag team Pokemon, so it gives up 3 prizes. This is a basic, so it's a 3-prizer basic, so a little different from the VMAX, which were 3 prizers also, but you can't, but they're evolution Pokemon. 240 HP, so that's a low number for 3 prizes. I admit that, but it is very useful. So full blitz for 3 energy does 150. It's okay, but then with it, you get to search your deck for up to 3 lightning energies and attach them to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck so you can get set up the next attacker, or even set up the PikaRom for the GX attack for full effect, which is awful fun when you do it. Tag Bolt GX for 3 lightning does 200 damage. Not bad, but then if you have 3 extra energy, so 6 energy, then you do 200 to the active and you do 170 to a bench Pokemon. So very nice. You can take a whole bunch of prizes, hopefully win the game when you do it. Now, GX attacks, if you're not familiar, are similar to the V-Star powers in that there's a marker, a GX marker. It shows off on the side of the screen in Live right next to the VMAX marker, and you can only use 1 GX attack per game. The one difference is GX are only attacks. There aren't any abilities as far as I remember for the GXs. Like you do have certain, the V-Stars are sometimes abilities, sometimes attacks. GX is all attack. So let's get into, it's a lightning box, so a few different lightning attackers. Vikavolt V just rotated, so you may likely remember that. 210 HP, and mostly when you use this, it's for paralyzing bolt. Does 50 damage for 2 energy. Not huge, but then during opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand, so that's very good. Does have an attack for 190 for 3, where you discard 2 energy. We don't want to use that very often because we have better attackers for 3 energy. So one of those better attackers is Miraidon EX, 220 HP, 2 prize. Basic Photon Blaster does 220 for 3, so that's a very solid attack. It's one of the bigger attackers in the deck. Then during the next turn, this Pokemon it can't attack, but it's also here for its ability. It sets you up quite nicely, tandem unit. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic lightning Pokemon, put them onto your bench, and then shuffle your deck. So that's quite nice getting set up. We get to use one of the old favorites that rotated, 2 years ago-ish, a Dedenne-GX with the Dedenne change ability, one of the all-time great abilities. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can't use more than 1 Dedenne change ability each turn. So very, very good POW ability there. Super good. We can attack with it too. Don't really want to do that, though, I gotta say. We're really using it to set things up, and it's very effective for that. We play 1 Zeraora-GX, another 2-prizer, 190 HP, really for the ability. Thunderclap Zone, each of your Pokemon has any lightning energy attached to it, has no retreat cost. That's important with this deck, as we'll see with some of the trainers we're playing, as well as some of the Pokemon. It does have its own attacks. We may utilize it, but generally we don't want to. Tapu Koko Prism Star is a really good card. Again, it was very expensive to get in PTCGO because it's a very powerful card, but in Live, pretty cheap to craft. I don't remember what it was. I think it's 400 or 425 to craft as a rare. So Prism Stars, you can only have 1 copy of that particular Prism Star card in the deck. And when it gets discarded from play, it goes into the lost zone instead, so you can't recover it and use it again. But here it has Dance of the Ancients ability. Super good. Once during your turn, before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may choose 2 of your bench Pokemon and attach a Lightning Energy card from your discard pile to each of them. If you do, discard all cards from this Pokemon and put it in the lost zone. So if you're playing a Lost Zone deck and expand a card like this, obviously it can be helpful too. Gets another card in the Lost Zone, but it gets 2 energies in play, and it goes to the Lost Zone. Your opponent does not take a prize card for it. So essentially accelerating 2 energies from the discard pile once in the game. Super nice ability. And then Crobat V rotated not that long ago. Probably remember that. 180 HP for Dark Asset ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in hand. You can't use the one Dark Asset per turn, but we only play 1 anyway, so that part, don't worry about that. And then play 1 Raichu and a Alolan Raichu-GX, or Raichu and Raichu. A 260 HP, so a little more than PikaRom. Still not big numbers. It's a 3-prizer. Again, the tag teams are all 3-prize Pokemon, and this has a very nice attack in Tandem Shock. If this Pokemon, for 3 energy, it does 80, but then if this Pokemon was on the bench and became your active Pokemon during your turn, this attack does 80 more damage, so 160, and your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. So you either take a knockout, that's great, or you do serious damage and paralyze them, that's great too. So I really enjoy this attack in the deck. And then it does have a GX, which we'll use sometimes too. Lightning Ride GX does 150 for 3, which is okay. Then you switch this Pokemon, one of your bench Pokemon, but if it has 2 extra energies, so that's 5 energies, then it does 100 extra damage, so 250 damage. It makes it a big hitter in the deck. So, so it's a nice, I really usually use Tandem Shock, I gotta say. Sometimes the GX, you have to choose which GX attack you want to use because you only get 1 per game. 14 basic lightning energy. We want to get energies into play. We play Electric Generator like you'd expect here. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, attach up to 2 basic lightning energy cards to your benched Pokemon any way you like. So can't go the active. Again, that's partly why we like having the free retreat, as long as it's got lightning energy attached to it. Pivoting's good, partly for Electric Generator, partly for Raichu and Raichu's attack also. That's partly why you want a higher energy cost quantity in the deck. So 14 is not a bad number. I'd actually prefer more in a regular Miraidon Electric Generator deck, but we don't have the deck space here. So what else do we have? We have 4 Ultra Ball, terrific search card. Should know what that is. 1 basic switch card, 1 Stormy Mountain. That's in standard, probably familiar with it, but if not, you search your deck for a basic lightning or basic dragon Pokemon, put it onto the bench, shuffle your deck. You can do that once per turn. Helps getting set up. If you get the Miraidon onto the bench, then you can use its ability for 2 more. 1 escape rope to do some switching. The Electric Trainer, like I said, 3 Guzmas. We play this instead of Boss. It's similar to Boss in that you switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon, but then after you do that, you switch your active Pokemon with your bench Pokemon. So you switch your side too, and we do want to do some switching around with our deck between Electric Generator, Raichu, and Raichu. So Guzma, I think, is better than Boss. 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball. Look at your prize cards. You can put a basic Pokemon into your hand and replace it with Hisuian Heavy Ball. Shuffle your prizes and put them back. 2 Ionos, just a good kind of see some fresh cards early game. If you're behind in prizes, you can kind of shrink your opponent's hand. So a useful card. 4 Research, just really, really good for setting up. 4 Quick Balls. I like that this is better than Nest Ball in this deck. You discard a card and then search for a basic Pokemon. We have the Dedenne-GX and Crobat V both on. Play abilities are important, so Quick Ball, we want that rather than Nest Ball. 2 Forest Seal Stones. Getting one of those in play is very nice. Lets us, at some point in the game, search our deck for any 1 card. We don't play any V-Stars, so we can always, so this is the V-Star power we want to use. 2 Energy Switch, and a very useful card comes useful many times in these games. 1 Choice Belt to get the damage up to where we want it against Vs. 3 Electropowers. This is quite nice. This is the reason we don't need to consider Regieleki VMAX. Regieleki VMAX buffs your basic Pokemon by 30. This does the same thing without having to have another 3-prize Pokemon in play. It's an item. When you play it from your hand, your lightning Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, a very nice card there. 2 Cynthias, if you're used to playing the theme decks in PTCGO, you're used to Cynthia. Very nice card. Shuffle your deck, draw 6. Almost as well, just one less than the research, and there's times you don't want to discard your hand. So Cynthia, very nice. And then another Prism Star card. This time it's a stadium, not a Pokemon. So again, we can only play one copy of it. When it gets discarded, it goes into the Lost Zone. But with this card, super, super good. The attacks of your Lightning Pokemon are 1 less Lightning energy. Super good. And then this card stadium does not get disrupted, removed by items or supporter cards played by either player. So therefore, it only gets bumped primarily by another stadium, or the effect of an attack can bump it. But so it's harder to bump, and it's a very good stadium. So really like that in the deck. So that's the 60 cards we're looking at. Going to go in the expanded ladder. All right, it's not a ladder because there's no climbing it. So there's ranked, right? If you're not familiar, there's casual here. There's standard, which is red, and then expanded in blue. And you have actually different decks. Like I have a Palkia deck set for standard right now. I have PikaRom set for expanded. So we'll jump up. So hit play. Sorry, wrong button there as I was showing you things. So as you see here on the screen, it says the expanded beta, and it's casual. So because it's casual, it's a bit hard to know what you're going to be up against. So here we go. I will choose heads. We'll go first if I get the choice, but I do have the ability to attack turn 2. Not quite as consistently as some Lightning decks in standard, because that's not quite at strength, but it's certainly doable, is what I'll say. Getting attacking. And you can attack with Vikavolt in the deck then as a 3 energy attacker. That is good, and it is very disruptive. So honestly, Vikavolt turn 1 isn't bad. So I will play Miraidon. Not great. I have Iono, though, so that can be useful. So up against a metal deck, that's okay. We'll see what I'm up against here. So sometimes they're just starter decks, sometimes they're just standard decks and expanded. But I'm thinking this is an expanded deck, but we'll see. All right, Berserker. So, and you see some a little bit different decks, which is fun too. So I'll play Heavy Ball. Doesn't really matter whether you do that or Miraidon first. All right, so Raichu and Raichu. Yes, I do like you. So I'll decide if I play you down. All right, so 2 electro powers and 2 energies. So those 2 of my 3 electro powers are prized. That's not ideal. So I want to... What do I want to do here? I want to get down my Prism Star. And I want to get down Vikavolt. I want to power him up, I'm pretty sure. I have a Miraidon in hand. Iono. Let's see here. I want to... Do I want to Dedenne change this turn? I think I might, actually, right? So, energy. Do I want to fill up my bench? That's one of my... Oh, that's okay. I'm going to Vikavolt here, too. So, I'm going to put Zeraora down. No, I want PikaRom down to accelerate too, but I'm going to want Zeraora down as well, right? Because, So I'm going to accelerate now with Tapu Koko. Right, there's 2 in there, right? So I like PikaRom and Vikavolt for my attackers. Actually, Raichu is pretty nice too. So I'm going to put energy on Vikavolt and Raichu. So Vikavolt, because he can attack easiest. I still need 1 more energy on the bench, and I need to get an energy on the active, right? So I'm going to grab the Dedenne. Do I want to play down the other Miraidon? I don't think I do. But let me see what's in the deck. So Dedenne. I think I want to get Zeraora down, probably. So I'm going to... Now's the tricky one. I need to attach this energy. Where do I attach it to? Oh, don't play Dedenne. I could attach to the active. I could attach to the bench. I'm going to attach active. I have a couple ways to pull off the attack. So I need to get my other Pokemon down. I'm blanking at the moment. Not going to try to. All right, so energy. I can retreat also, and I have 2 electric generators. So let me see what I get here. Got 1. That gets me the attack. Let me see what I get with this. If I get 2 energies, I got 1 again. Yeah. And then I think I want to try to say, I might as well preserve that energy, right? So I'm going to put down, I think I want to keep the energies. Get rid of Ultra Ball, I think you're okay. Get down Zeraora-GX, which I get free retreat, which helps me out. It keeps them from stalling me out also. Hit with Vikavolt. Paralyzing, oh, sorry, I hit the, so there we go, attack. I missed the attack, so that's okay. So it does 50, which isn't huge, but they can't play any item cards, so we'll see what happens. They have the red arrow there, right? It says this player can't play any item cards in their hand. It shows my Vikavolt, so that's a global status condition. But it's a global status condition just applying to that player, right? I don't have the red arrow, so, I mean, is it... so they can hit me for 120 right now. So they can't play. They can play a supporter. They can play down a Pokemon. I actually have knockout this turn. So yeah, I can, even if they knock. So I do have the counter knockout with Raichu and Raichu. He'll do, that does 160. So I have game here. So actually I can swing into the active. So yeah, it didn't work out, did it? So I'm going to just do Raichu and Raichu. Retreat. Do my attack for 160, which gets me there. And they're also, even if I didn't knock them out, they're paralyzed. So it's pretty nice there, right? So very strong little set of turns, set up quite nicely. And got the quick win. Don't know what my opponent was playing exactly. Obviously, Glare and Berserker. I don't know how the deck was built exactly. It didn't work for them. But, of course, I helped it not work for them by attacking with Vikavolt. So getting him off turn 1 really is quite nice. Let's jump in to another game and see how things go here. Hopefully don't pair into the same opponent. Not to insult my opponent. Not that... I'm not even sure what they play, but it's better to see a different deck, right? And they probably don't want to get hit with Vikavolt again either. So, all right, so have a new opponent here. We'll see how things go. So I'll choose heads. Once again, all right, I get to go first. So that's nice. See what I can set up. And we'll see what I'm up against, too. All right, it's got a Zeraora. In the active, I have Crobat. That's a non-playability, so don't want to play a Pokemon with a non-playability. All right, Peony, Flannery, Avery. I think these are all... No, so like Flannery's rotated, so, or Team Yellow, so some things have rotated, so it's not a standard deck. Now, it might have been a standard deck from before. Like an old standard deck that you like is fine to play here. You can do it, but it's going to struggle against true expanded decks. Now, I don't know that whose deck's better. I'm not going to pretend to know that. So, okay, I think well, that's kind of stinky. These are nice supporters too. I'm gonna attach to the active because I get free retreat. Hopefully they don't. This is a mill deck, right? So it's gonna be a little tricky, but I need to get set up here. My free retreat is good though. So dead H now by discarding, assuming it truly is a mill deck, discarding to get things going is not great. I have one entry in the discard pile. I'm gonna get down a Miraidon, I think. I have to decide what I want to do here. So I think I want Miraidon. Oh, Victini is prized, the Prism Star. Okay, so Miraidon. So, all right, I'm going to want Electric Generator, but I want to get down some other attackers here. So Guzma could come in handy too. All right, so I want to get down. Do I want Vikavolt? I think I want Vikavolt also, don't I? Maybe PikaRom. PikaRom to attack with to power someone else up if they're really going to be disrupting me is going to be good. So let's see. The safe play is Vikavolt. I'm going to go. What do I have? I have Guzma. All right, I'm going to go Vikavolt. I don't necessarily like that, but I'm concerned. I was hoping to hit 2. If I hit 2, I would have done PikaRom. All right, I have 2 here, so I can do PikaRom. And I'll hit it Vikavolt. So I have an attacker powered up, and I'll end turn. I don't think they're not going to knock out my active, I'm pretty sure. I have Guzma to control what I'm hitting into, which could be nice too. They can't play a switch card then. So they're going defensive, so it may in fact be a mill. Okay, so this is the fun part of Expanded. What am I up against here? It's a standard card with Conkeldurr. So it's a revenge attacker, so that's okay. Lost an energy and energy switch. Okay. So I can get the Victini, which is what oh man, I do miss the Raichu and Raichu also. He's quite nice, but I think this is the play here. So I think, do I want to switch into them? I could just retreat, or I could Guzma. That's my choice here. Do I want to, what do I want to attack with, right? All right, I'm going to use the Tapu Koko. I want PikaRom for sure. And I'm going to hit Miraidon because he's a nice attacker. Do I want to let him keep milling me? That's one of my questions here. I think I'll item lock him. I don't love this. I could have done the switch on him, right? I could have switched. I'm a little concerned about Conkeldurr, though. So I want to get energy on PikaRom. Maybe I should have Guzma. I still could Guzma at some point. Do 50 into Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr V. Okay. Because I want to be able to take it out with one big hit. I can set it up with if this. All right, so I really do want to wipe him out, though. One shot him, or one big hit. I can ping into Conkeldurr, but I really want to. I don't want him, and I'm weak to him too, so I am concerned about him. All right, losing energies. I don't love that. I can't get any more back. That's quite nice too. 220. So I could Guzma. I think I Guzma him up. Let's hit into you. I'm going to send you up. Not going to do the attack, though, because that is bad. Bad. I'll retreat. Send up Vikavolt. Attach, though, so I can do my 150 attack. So no items. They can't play a switch card to get out of the active. So I want to get him into the position where I take him out. He needs to get down to 150 HP. That's below 150 or less. So I need to double hit into the Conkeldurr and then hit one more time, then take him out with PikaRom, accelerate energy. Okay, that's not great. He's going to do 100 damage here. Or, oh, 20 plus. So yeah, so he did a bunch of damage to me there for sure. I could swing in, but I don't take him out. Then he takes out my 3 prizers. So I'm going to have to do this. I think this is the play I've got to make. Now I'm going to take out the Conkeldurr next turn. If they put a cape on him, so tools are not items anymore, so they could play a tool card. So that change in the rule could hurt me here, right? If they get a tool down and I cannot one-shot them, that's unfortunate. But if they knock me out, that's fine. I'll send up PikaRom and we'll accelerate energy to... I don't know. I got to think about that one. So another Conkeldurr. That's awkward. I got to say that's awkward. But I can work, I just got to work with that. Obviously, being fighting weak, you have a fighting attacker. It does significant damage for 1 energy, assuming there's damage on it. Damage from an attack last turn. So that includes attack from when hitting it on the bench, right? I got to assume it should, right? So if the GX, so I'll take out the active, though. They're going to take out me. I'm going to wipe them out. I wish I had the paralysis, right? Raichu and Raichu would be really good, I got to say. Really good. So might want to power up the Miraidon because he will do some important damage here. Do I dare? I don't think I can risk researching here. I really don't. I think I want to keep the research. Let me see if there's any Pokemon. I'll take a little peek at my deck. Just peek at the deck. I'm probably not going to put anybody down. How much energy's left? That's one of my concerns. 3 energy left. That is terrible. Terrible, terrible. So I could put... Do I toss all my energy onto my active? That's wow. This is risky here, right? This is basically it. They've gotten rid of 4 energy. I don't have energy recovery. I think I have to take him out. And I do have actually I might have to use this guy's GX attack, right? In which case I put 2 energies here. And I'm going to say done. I don't have to play that, do I? Oh, I guess I do. Oh, should I have not? I shouldn't have grabbed 3 energies. That was a mistake. I forgot how that worked. I should only have grabbed the 2 energies I needed. I can't spread them around. I was dumb about that. I hadn't decided where I was going to. I changed my mind actually in the middle of that attack, and then I paid the price for that. Right? I thought I was going to put them all on Pikachu and Zekrom. Then I thought, hey, I might need to accelerate energy out of the discard pile because I could put 4 energies into play from the discard, which is quite solid. So Crobat. So I can take him out with Miraidon, right? Oh, they took out my... I don't have the free retreat, though, right? No, I do have... I have Zeraora. He's the free retreat. So I have the free retreat. Okay, so now I can't take him out. But... Oh, I do like... Okay, so maybe. So... I'm sorry. So I have the heavy ball, and I do have the Raichu. And I do like Raichu because it paralyzes them, and that puts them in an awkward spot, right? They're milling through me decently, right? 2 at a time, but in ways that hurt. I acknowledge that. So there's really not energy there. I don't want to research, but I might. What's in here? 2 energies. Okay, those aren't bad. I don't have a V going, though, so that part's unfortunate. So let's think. The problem is, so I think I want to attack with uses V. So I'm going to retreat, send up Zeraora, use your attack. There is 1 energy in deck too, right? So maybe I'll see if I get lucky here. I failed that, that's okay. So I'm going to use GX attack. So I want to get 1, 2, 3, and I will put 1 on Dedenne, so they all have free retreat now, so that if they try doing a boss stall on me. So now I just got to swing around, right? So I can paralyze. I can only paralyze every other turn though. So, right, and because unless I have a Guzma, I have down to 1 Guzma. There's a rope in deck as well. So the paralysis will be very nice next turn. And I have free retreat on everything. Conkeldurr is scary, but paralysis is good. Team Yell Grunt. So they're putting energy back in my hand. That's okay, right? Because they can't get... I don't believe they can disrupt my hand now, right? So I can just play it down, and that's all. I don't need to play any extra energies anyway. So lost the rope, so that hurts. That definitely hurts. But I can make this work. So what, 220? So what do I do here? 220 is the big attack here, right? So I'm going to go into Raichu and Raichu. You become active. I do 160. You're paralyzed. That's okay. I can one-shot the Conkeldurr. So Electropower, having 1 in hand is quite nice. Let's see, is that do I have any more? I think 1's prize. I'm trying to remember. So none in the discard. So they can't attack this turn. I can, let's see, 80 damage. I could finish them off with Electropower on that, but I don't want to do that, right? So I want to, well, that's a good play on their part too. So I really want to swing into somebody else, right? I think I'd swing into Miraidon. Okay, so what's he going to do? Is he going to mill me again? No. Yes, he's going to mill me again. 220. So I can take him out with Miraidon, though. So that's not terrible. Getting ready to do... So with 3 energy, they do 90. They do 180 with weakness. And then if they flip heads, they take out any of my Pokemon. I'm confused and stuff, too. That doesn't matter. They just knock me out, though. So you're at 220. Miraidon does 230. So I'm going to retreat, send up Miraidon. 220. 220, right? This is a stressful game, but this is where, these are the type of things you don't normally get with run-of-the-mill standard decks. So down to 2 prizes. All right, I don't know, do I have access to a V, though? What's in there? I think both my V's are in the discard, so I don't have access to a V Pokemon. So I can swing in and paralyze them, so that's what I'm going to have to do. And hopefully they can't get out of it, right? If they get out of the paralysis, I'm in a lot of trouble. That's what it comes down to. I think I've got to hit them with Raichu and Raichu. Right, so I'll just send up PikaRom. I don't want to attack with that tail. So did they miss the knockout then? They missed the knockout, so that's really good. that cost them big time. So the stadium's nice, but no reason to play it. So I'm going to retreat, go into Raichu, and Raichu, no reason to play down that second energy. No, I can't use my GX attack. So you are paralyzed, so that's nice. So now they can't retreat. If they have the ability to get to the bench, if they can't get to the bench, they just lose, right? I need to retreat. I can't attack with Raichu and Raichu. I mean, I can, but it only does 80. It doesn't knock them out, but I can just swing it with Miraidon. Take them out. So it looks like, you know, it was an interesting game for sure. A few older cards, mostly newer cards, Team Yellow Ground. So a disruption type deck. So they're going to come in and mill me, I guess. No, they can't. They can't do that. So, and I have free retreat. If they played down a path, then I wouldn't win next turn. That would be their play path to do that. And I don't know. I haven't seen any hammer, so I'm assuming they don't play hammers in the deck. Obviously, hammering away enough energy could do it, but I have energy in hand, and I have a Thunder Mountain. So they're thinking they're probably going to concede, well, or they're just going to pass. Right? I just going to swing with Miraidon for game. So, right, unless they can pull off a switch, it's game for me. I have game on board. So good job on my opponent. It's coming up short for them. Going to retreat. Going to send up Miraidon. And 220, you know, have Thunder Mountain. Didn't need to play that. Once, you know, I needed to do the Dedenne play earlier. That was one decision I made early on that I did pay off here. I think was right. The Dedenne change, right? I saw the Crobat Ball as their opening, as their starter. Had to decide, did I want a Dedenne change, which was in my deck, but I also knew without it, I wasn't really going to set up. But I needed to set up, right? Up against the mill deck, yes, you want to preserve your resources, but you also you need to get attacking quickly. So giving up a few, discarding those cards, but to get attacking was important, right? And of course, they had the fighting attacker too, so it made things scary there. On the mill, I would have just hit through the fighting attacker. That thing made things that made things scary since I was weak to him, but was able to navigate it. And it's fun playing expanded. Now, suggest you give it a try. You don't know what you're going to be up against. Certainly more variety. If you find standard stale and don't like facing the same decks all the time, you know what? That's not going to happen in expanded. You never know what it is. So it's fun. It's different. Give it a try. Take care.